Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day with me waving my hands in the air. I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching, even as my views continue to dwindle on my dying channel. Thank you all, each and every one of you that does come to watch and listen. It is greatly appreciated. I know I'm nobody, I have no money, I'm not a celebrity, but each and every person that watches is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very, very much. I have been recovering from depression my whole life. I have been recovering from the death of my wife, and just recovery from grief and discovering who I am now that I'm medicated for stuff has been a journey, and thank you for coming along with me. It is greatly appreciated. I do want to talk about a couple of stuffs. So I was going to say things and then stuff, and they all got mixed together. I don't have a ton on my list. Yesterday, because I had my med manager appointment, I was just antsy and in disarray. I mean, that happens. I didn't really get anything done all day because I was just too antsy. So I tried to just stay busy, otherwise watching videos, playing games, just being active mentally instead of just being a vegetable. So did my best, and thumbs up for that. It is a good thing. But have my appointment. I'm continuing with my Ritalin. She's sending the prescriptions off to the pharmacist for the next 3 months, and that's good. Definitely a thumbs up on that. It's working well. I talked about how I have fears of being under-medicated because I was on so many meds and on methadone for so long that my tolerance for everything is sky high. I mean, it is absolutely sky high. So, yay. But still, it is a good thing. And of course, because I'm trying to front load everything, and thank you all so very much. If you like what you see in here, if you could hit the like button, engage with the YouTube algorithms, that would be good. If you like what you see in here and you haven't subscribed, if you could, that too would be cool. A definite thumbs up. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon.com patrons who are beautiful and awesome people that are helping to literally keep me alive. A roof over my head, food in my belly, and my pets fed and happy as well. Thank you so very much. It is appreciated. And if any of you out there who aren't patrons could become one, that would be very awesome and appreciated. Thank you so much. But on with other things. Because I haven't really done too much elsewise, I don't have a lot to talk about. I mean, there are things. I need to really try and get a phone today because I'm on food stamps. I should be able to get a phone, and I need to get that done because with my increased rent, I'm not going to be able to pay for my phone this month, and I need two-factor authentication from YouTube, and so I could lose my phone this month. If you could help me out, that would be awesome. It's $40 and I don't even have that. So I do have a PayPal link down below in or wherever the video description is. If you could check that out and help me out, that would be cool. Do not feel obligated, but I'm not doing well. But I have been doing other things, creative thinking, and trying to do my best that way, especially when I'm out on walkies, trying to keep my head from getting wrapped up in negative stuff, and also just because I like to stay creative and doing things and chewing on ideas and seeing what I can get out of them. One of the things that I've been thinking about is I've talked a lot about this new setting for the creative horror framework with inside and outside, the modern framework setting that takes place. Well, I'm an American citizen, so most of it takes place in the United States, though it's not really. Though there is the razor's edge where I'm telling the story wherever there are people. You know, the entire planet is covered in these entrances to the inside. It's not just the United States. So, but as stated, I'm an American citizen. I know the American stuff without being able to think about it, whereas I'd have to do a lot of Googling and still not be able to get it all if I tried to set it in a different country. So, if I try to remember this, one of the things that I've been talking about is there is the small town well, small town, there's about 20,000, 25,000 people that live there, of Apple Rock. And I've mentioned how that Apple Rock is, it's bored and hungry and rampages periodically, but it's not a giant, I mean, it is a rock that looks like an apple, but that's not what it really is. It's not this gigantic stone apple that goes rampaging through town and destroying things and eating people. No. That's just what it looks like while it's hibernating. When it wakes up and gets bored, or it wakes up because it's hungry, once the rampaging starts, it looks like a giant rock that looks like an apple. But that's because the stone plating on its outer body just fits together so well. And when it stands up, it is a gigantic quadruped reptilian creature with very thick, nigh invulnerable stone armor on its outsides. So when it rampages, it is a gigantic quadruped thing it's big, so it's slower, but it's big, so it's faster because it moves slower to take fewer steps. But boy, those fewer steps carry a lot of distance when it goes. And yeah, so when it rampages, it's a gigantic reptilian thing that's going through the town. And when it's done, it heads back up with a full belly and curls back up and hibernates until it gets bored or hungry again. There's only one of them, so it doesn't have to worry about reproducing. It doesn't have to attract a mate, so it doesn't have to expend energy on that. It has no reproductive cycle, thoughts, or desires. It's only got one thing that it's doing, living on its life. And it hibernates until it's hungry, and then it gets up and it eats until it's time to hibernate again. And it's pretty young, so it's going to be around a long time, because after all, everything slows down during hibernation. But that's Apple Rock. I actually was thinking I have an idea for a series of stories about a different setting with a Gakiri/Gakiru, which is just a being of power, called Sid. And Sid, in its human manifestation, as the rest of it is sleeping, is just this like 65-year-old guy with a short, dumpy, he's got clown makeup tattooed onto his face, and he runs the Clown's Head Motel, where clowns from all across the United States, when they age out and perish, they get buried in the clown burial grounds next to his motel. And his motel, the Clown's Head, has a clown museum as part of its wing. But they are a very powerful being, just rearranging themselves for their next incarnation. And as they sleep, they just need something to keep an eye out. It's just another manifestation of their being. And in this case, while there's human beings around, it's Sid. He's very mellow. But one of the ideas I had about that is telling the story of like a week in the life around this character, but having each individual story be like it's written by a different author who doesn't have all the information on what the characters are. So Sid in reality only shows up, in one or two things all the way through it, but different ideas and different manifestations of what Sid could be are in all the different stories. So for Apple Rock, one of the things that I've been thinking of, not necessarily Apple Rock, but was just a day in the life on the razor's edge. But it's not a day, it takes place over a year, and it's all just slice of life stories from all these different places, like what happens in Tenasket Valley when somebody's staring at the full moon and they find it as they're transcending. And then in Tall Ned, the story and such about the sheriffs and the deputy and a run-in with Tall Ned. And then, of course, I don't know if it's a few days back I talked about how horrible it can be if you are the one that the Apple Rock chooses to begin its rampage, because all roads lead to Apple Rock then. and it will hurt you until you bleed on it so that it can rampage and eat. Not very pleasant. I don't know if I want to tell the story of that one person who ends up rubbing their blood on it and begging, please, please, just kill me. Stop hurting me. Or I'd had a thought about, there's a person who, I'm turning 59 this year, so I thought it would be a person who's turning 59. They've lived through, over their life, 11 rampages of apple rock through the town. You know, it's been big enough their whole life that even if it eats 10,000 people, that's only half the town, there's going to be a lot of survivors. And so this person has lived through 11 rampages. The 12th one's going on right now. They have hit a point of acceptance. They don't want to die, but even as they're standing on the roof of their house with their partner, who has also decided, they don't want to die, but they want to stay with their partner. And if the thing gets them, then they've lived in Apple Rock their whole lives, they'll die in Apple Rock. And the thing is rampaging toward their home, even as they're just on the roof, unafraid, watching it come towards their house. And in fact, it actually, one house away, breaks and tears that apart and eats the entire family that's been cowering in the household, and then just takes a few steps over and is just standing, breathing its thick, I've eaten a couple hundred people raw meat breath at these people on the house, just staring at them and breathing, its guts gurgling and churning as it's digesting everyone, and they're just watching and waiting, unafraid. If they die, they die. If they don't, they don't. And then it turns its head and starts waddling back up toward the hillside so it can curl up and hibernate. So I got a bunch of little things like that I want to put together. It takes place, as stated, over about a year, and each story is chronologically further along than the last one, so something that happens earlier gets referenced to later on in a different story. It's not all in Apple Rock, of course, as stated. There's Tenasca Valley and Tall Ned and all that, so I need to come up with more towns and all such like that. One of the other things I wanted to do with that, just as an idea of how odd it would be, if there's someone on the outside who has been talking through social media and whichever, name your FaceTime app, whatever, they've been talking with someone on the inside, they're just on the outside. Their father and their sister are half-sighted. They can see, but not consciously. Their mother is completely non-sighted. They are full-sighted. They can see, hear, feel, taste, touch, and smell all this inside stuff. They've driven into the Razor's Edge just to visit. The person in Tenasca Valley wants them to come on in. We're going to grab the caravan. We're going to drive on in further inside. We're going to spend the whole weekend, 3 days, 1 day to drive there, 1 day to stay, and 1 day to come back. They're going to go to Westboro, the western borough of the Crimson Kingdom, and they're just going to make a weekend out of it. And so I thought that would be interesting. What kind of thing would it be if you come from a tiny town in the actual United States and then you wander inside to the point that they drive you into the western borough of the Crimson Kingdom, which is of course ruled over by the King in Crimson, a powerful but not human being. It's a different place. It's like wandering into a foreign country, because it is, but it's very modern. In fact, in some cases, all of these places on the inside, they're a mix of about 70% contemporary, about 15% legacy, ancient stuff that's, just like we do. We have old stuff that we use because, hey, we're doing this because it's old, not because it's a good idea. They have legacy stuff like that, plus near future stuff as well. 15% of the things they use. Nothing bad, it's just that their phones might be about 15 years ahead of ours. Not a whole lot of everything else is, but just a few things like that. So what would it be like? You just say, hey mom, hey dad, I'm going to be spending the weekend with my friend in Brookerville. And so you head to Brookerville on the Razor's Edge. And then you drive into the western borough of the Crimson Kingdom. And you don't even have to worry about your money, because after all, the people in the Razor's Edge in the United States are American citizens. They spend dollars. You go to the western borough of the Crimson Kingdom, go to any bank. They'll just change your dollars into whatever money the Crimson Kingdom uses. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Far, far less than 25 people leave me comments anymore. But anything greater than 0 is thumbs up, and thank you all. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker, and even though I count American Sign Language, I get lost. I have fibromyalgia with fibrofog, ADHD that's only halfway medicated, a whole bunch of issues. My memory is still getting better. Excuse me. I had to burp, so my voice went away. My memory is still getting better, but it's never going to be perfect. So we have Daryl Smith, who, it's rough, but the very, very best for you. We have Dead Link, thumbs up, sort of. There is Blade Liger 87. It's very fascinating indeed. Yosef Delgado, thumbs up, thank you very much. Confused Owl 29, it is cool. Hopefully I'm going to talk about this a lot in the future. We have, I do not know how to pronounce it, but it's J-A-J-O, and then the A with a accent over it, and then O, thumbs up and thank you. We have Rivers Allen, thumbs up. There is Denial, greatly appreciated, good to see you. Beatrice, oh boy, I do not know what to do. But we have Stanky Mans, thumbs up, and Lysander Lonshadow, I sure hope I'm close. This one looks like Son Wing, SONNGUYEN. I got lost while saying the letters. Thank you very, very much. And that is it. 12 people who left me comments over the past 24 hours over my videos on the channel here. Thank you very much. It is appreciated to no end. You get me out of my head and into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text. It is appreciated. And with my hands in the air, I have no idea what device you're watching this on, so I have no idea where the video description is, but inside of it, I have links to all of my channels. If you could check that out, that'd be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up. I also have links to my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and if you could become, once again, a patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. Really, and honestly and literally, right now, you're helping to keep me alive, and that is appreciated to no end. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a link to my PayPal. I'm not above just grubbing and begging for any spare change you have, so if you could help out, that would be appreciated. If you'd like to help me out without sending money, hopefully my executive dysfunction has let me update my Amazon wish list link. Hopefully I've got stuff like cat food on it again. That would be very, very cool. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot or simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, a definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be greatly appreciated as well. A definite thumbs up. Hokey smokes. So yeah, I need to try and get that phone because I'm on food stamps, because I can't afford to pay for my phone. So if you could help me out, that would be greatly appreciated, because Still though, seek creativity in all things for yourself. Do self-care and being creative as you can. Do not push and force and feel bad. Do what you can. Be as creative as you can, and that is a good thing. Of course, seek positivity. I have discovered through my life that being a negative person only hurts you and the people around you. Work on positivity, because of course, balance in all things. You've got to stay positive but you also have to accept the negative. Human existence is a full spectrum, and cutting out half of it because it hurts will cripple you. It is painful, pain hurts, but it is a valid human experience. So, with the covfefe bug raging around the world and just, oy vey, please, if you don't have to go out among others, do not. If you have to, please wear a mask, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face, maintain your social distancing. If you don't have it yet, please get vaxxed. If it is available and you are in one of the groups that can get it, get the booster. We've got to get through this somehow. Hokey smokes. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that, quite frankly, is a definite thumbs up.